Vale, Claire, Diggory, and Eliza almost fell chuth. Only some abjuration contingencies saved the dragon from unconsciousness and bought him the time and opportunity to spirit away. After licking their wounds and resting during the afternoon, Eliza, the 9-year-old girl who you came across as food for the rock, the girl, whilst resummoning her familiar, she came across a fey dragon or pseudo dragon, which came out looking for an enemy imp, but bonded with a child. That evening, at a celebratory feast to recognize their victory over the green giant, the cloud giants, Blagothcus, Lord Blagothcus, and Esclarota invited you all to a celebratory feast, and Blagothcus's giant sense of humor was in full view. As first you were attacked by the soup course. Giant tentacles tried to drag you into a soup bowl and managed to drag little Eliza. But a mixture of Claire's smite and Eliza's electric witch bolt finally finished off this ingredient, and you had some very fresh seafood soup for beginners, and then moved on to the main course, which were inside a pie. There were lots of flying creatures, but before they could take to the air and escape, a mixture of Claire's challenge and Eliza's magic also obliterated them. Then the feast was interrupted by the arrival of unexpected guests, heralded by a ward that Chuth had left in the upper courtyard. Eliza dimensioned down to the upper courtyard to see what they were. Do you remember what the unexpected arrivals were? Eliza?
There was, I believe he was either a half-elf or a full-on human. There was a half-orc, and then what we assumed was like a golem, because he wasn't moving and he wasn't talking to anybody or anything like that, and he was waiting for orders. And then after combat, we realized that he
Do you remember how the combat broke out?
Yeah.
Claire, yeah, go on.
Yeah, Claire falsely assumed that they were followers of Tiamat because they had a dragon sigil on, I believe, the shield of the half-orc. And then, because my ready to action was hold person, with the caveat of Claire gets mad, I hold personed, and it worked on 2 out of the 3. It did not work on what we assumed, like I said before, to be the
large silent suit of armor behind them.
Yeah, we thought it was like a living suit of armor or something, but it didn't work on him, but it worked on the other 2. And that was how the fight originally broke out.
Do you remember, Claire? Do you remember what happened after that? Do you remember any details of the fight?
Yeah, Claire was fighting this weird goblin thing that was pretty strong and pretty powerful. After fighting this thing and like find out that these were not like Tiamat's followers or the dragon cult followers, she apologized and put her put her weapons away, and took the orc and the human and this weird golem thing to the to their room and sort of like and like watched over them as they rest.
Well, yes, you escorted them with Guadalupe, the cloud giant daughter, to the tower that they would stay in, but you didn't, and left them there. They said they asked for an hour to sort of compose themselves and rest before you asked for a meeting with them.
Yes, that's right. Yes, I did.
And Bale, though you were absent, I just gave you one. When you heard the fight breaking out after Claire and Guadalupe had gone to investigate, you and everybody in the hall ran to investigate, and you got to the window and launched a couple of arrows at the giant suit of armor. But as they got close to the giant suit of armor and the others, they suddenly deviated in their flight and struck the half-orc. It's an effect you haven't seen before.
Okay. Okay.
And do you remember why you assumed these unexpected visitors were servants of Chuth, or why they were? Well, they did have a serpent on their insignia.
What color was the dragon?
As
far as the sigils and the symbols.
It's a serpent, not a dragon.
Well, one worm is just like a Bale.
These ones are grey, and make a history check.
Alrighty, let's see here. Are the dice going to be good today? They ain't going to be worth a shit today.
It looks vaguely familiar, but you don't know what of.
Okay, well, the history was a 5.
Yeah. It rings a bell. You've seen it before, but you don't know what it is. You can't place what it is. You know, it's not the. You can say for sure that it's not the dragon cult, but that's the own, and one or two other things, but you don't know what it is exactly. And the one of the symbols is grey, but another one that's embroidered on some of their clothes is gold. So it depends on where the symbol appears.
Okay, the grey one, I would take it that the Bale would go for the gray / silver in his mind. As far as that kind of how he would equate it to make it sound reasonable. And then after seeing the arrows do whatever they did, he'll look back at Diggory, notice because he notices that there's also gold dragons there, and he knows how Diggory always got twittipated.
Twittipated. Make Bale as well. Make an Arcana roll. You need very good here.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
The thing,
Arcana of 14. I don't think that's very good. I'm talking about to meet the DC that you have there.
It's fairly close, but it's not good enough. Yeah. Well, you're pretty sure magic was at work. Okay. So the human Charnor Wingstyle said that they'd received he works for a different order, a group of mercenaries, and they'd come to see what they'd received an offer of employment from Chuth, and they'd come to see what this offer was about. But they congratulate you on beating Chuth. They want no part of fighting someone who's able to defeat Chuth, and they'll take their offer of one night's hospitality in the Cloud Giant's castle, and then return return to their headquarters and think of their next move. Going over to, so these are matters of negotiation and planning and politics, maybe politics and money that are going over the heads of a 9-year-old girl. What's Eliza doing? You're beginning to feel sleepy.
Yeah. Right now, since she hasn't gotten the chance to, she's kind of learning about her new familiar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when
Okay.
when you make a familiar and stuff, they have a telepathic bond and things. So
Yeah.
she would just be able to kind of sit there and stare at it, and it would sit there and stare at her, and then they would just speak in their heads and stuff at each other, and people just see them staring at each other for like however long it takes.
Yep. This familiar, you soon get the impression it doesn't have thoughts in the same way that you have thoughts, but you get strong feelings, impressions, images, and emotions from it. And it seems to enjoy hunting. It sort of finds mice, and like a bit like a cat likes chasing them, that enjoys the thrill of the hunt. It's always thinking of it keeps thinking back to an imp that it battles with and hates, and sort of checks dark corners and sniffs the air for this imp. And you also, having sort of shared this thought with it, think you might be able to recognize the smell of this imp, this particular imp, if you came across it, and the one with the scarred face. But you just spend some time in your room bonding with it.
Pretty much. I am going to ask it if in like tomorrow and stuff, because you were saying that it's kind of late and stuff, and that they'll probably be sleeping in junk. But tomorrow, basically, like, if you want, the people I met are nice, I guess. They'll probably help me, find the imp and stuff. Basically more or less saying, hey, I can help you find the imp, and she has, I wasn't here for the big old fight with the gnolls on Wyrms and things. She doesn't really know what killing is, so she's like, oh, you wanna find it so that you can, make friends with it.
No.
Cool. So that's what her initial thought of this stuff is just like, oh, okay, yeah, we can help you find it, and then you guys can be best friends.
Oh, you get the impression that it doesn't want to be best friends with it. It wants
and then
to,
pretty much I would think that to it, and then it'd be like, oh, you don't want to be friends.
Yep.
Well,
It definitely wants to hunt it and hunt it again and hunt it again. It's already hunted it and killed it a few times, and been hunted and killed a few times by it. You get the impression, but both imps and this creature's native to the Feywild, and that one's native to one of the lower planes, and they can only die permanently on another plane of existence. So you're sort of communing with that one in your room whilst you're getting sleepy. Claire, I'll go. Well, Claire, I'll go to you next.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Claire goes to knock on the door where the human and the orc and where this creature or whatever they have is, and knock on the door and see if they are available to talk.
The half orc opens the door and looks at you, glances around the courtyard, and says, you said you were wanting to speak with us.
Yes.
Would you like to come in?
Yes, I do. So
follow me, he says, and starts walking up the spiral staircase.
Okay, I follow him.
Okay, and it leads out. It he leads up one layer. The walls are very thick, made by giants. They're probably about 20 feet thick. And you get to large. Again, it's built for giants. A large room, 60 or 70 feet across, which would be quite intimate for a giant, but it's shared by these three. The large silent warrior is just standing in a dark corner, unmoving. The other two have clearly had a bite to eat and set up their bedrolls, and they turn to you. A cleric of Lathander. We came here to meet a dragon, and we met a cleric of Lathander and some cloud giants. We expected the cloud giants, but we did not expect you.
She says, I apologize for the rude attack upon you and your friend here. I did not recognize your holy relics.
There are a lot of different symbols on the Sword Coast, and it's difficult to remember them all, but ours is one of the better known, he says.
Yes, so that is why I've come here to apologize in person and in physical presence, to apologize for my rude actions and my rude attack upon you. I thought that you were here, to try and claim back the castle that was taken by us, because Chuf himself enslaved this poor woman and her family, and captured her husband in the mines and enslaved him most harshly, and it was a cruel sight to see. So I apologize for my rudeness.
Apology accepted, he says.
But the reason why I've come is not just that. I am interested in this speechless spirit that you have. He holds a sword of Lathander. He radiates, or what it is, it radiates the light of Lathander. I must know exactly what it is. If you are willing to ask some questions about this being, or make this being talk to me, that will be most grateful.
I am sure you understand this. Some religious spirits pledge themselves to strong and binding oaths, and this one has taken an oath of silence, and it will. I fear you will get nothing out of her, he says.
Can you ask it to talk?
I am not its. I did not receive its oaths, he says. She is bound to our superior, he says.
Where did you find such a angelic creature?
My lord gifted this to me, and because we were coming here to negotiate with a dragon, this bodyguard would make even a dragon pause before attacking, and so he lent it to us to add backup to our negotiations, but she is really beholden to my master.
May I ask?
My master and brother, Master Wingstar.
Wingstar, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I see. So does he serve The temples of Lathander.
Make an insight roll.
All right, insight roll. Because this thing, because this thing had the soul of bloody from Lathander, man. So yeah, skill, insight.
It's not particularly difficult.
Okay, I got 16.
You notice him smirk at the very idea, and the half-orc laughs and then conceals his laughter. But you think very far from it.
I see. This.
Your accent is from Waterdeep, are you? Is it not?
Yes.
You are far from home. What has brought you here?
I have come seeking great vengeance upon truth of what he has done to my comrades and my allies throughout my adventures. He has caused great sorrow and great pain to my heart. He has killed the ones that I have loved and endeared. He killed, the creatures of the world have great impact on me throughout my journeys. I have seen much death and disaster, and now I seek great vengeance upon the death itself. I have took my solemn oaths to swear great vengeance upon death itself, and to seek it out and destroy it once and for all. The great leech of death and decay.
They listen to this with a slightly bemused look about them. Yes, there's, and they say, "Well, I wish you well in your quest. I don't think you, if you wish to pledge yourself to the Black Network," he says, indicating his symbol of a sort of dragon or winged serpent flying into flames. Ours is a path that can lead to a lot of influence and prosperity for our members. If you seem to have defeated Chuth now, if you're looking for another direction, we could pay you well and advance your career.
Indeed.
If it is land you wish, we can offer you land.
I do not seek land or anything like that. All I wish is to serve Lathander's light and fury. I am his weapon of choice. I am his great mace that he holds in his right hand, and I shall strike upon the undead and those who are wicked to his mightiest light. I serve the light, and I shall follow the light wherever it takes me. The Founder is my God and my keeper, and we shall listen carefully to the rocks and the trees and the grass and the winds, for they are the whisperers of our gods and our deity. Even though they are very quiet, if you close your eyes and listen very carefully, you shall hear them, and they shall guide you.
The half-orc suddenly speaks up and says, "You started fighting Aravis here during outside the castle, but we never got to see which one was the victor. Which one would be the victor? Would you like to continue your sparring session?"
This golem, this creature that has vowed its silence, is strong against my radiant damage or radiant light. it holds the light of Lathander within it. That is why I wish to try my best to speak with it.
The Charnor Wingstyle just sort of indicates with his hand for you to go to approach the creature if you want.
Yeah, I go up to it and I speak in Celestial, the mighty celestial language of my God, the holy lights of my God, and speak in like celestial light language. I shall say, and I shall kneel before it, and greet, and I shall kneel before it, and with my sword facing downwards, with the blade in the ground, and I say, "Great celestial being that is sleeping within, I have no doubt you can hear me, and see me. I have given the crown that was found in Greenest to our God."
What language are you speaking?
Ancestral.
Literally speaking, God speak.
Yeah. Okay. Make a
death saving throw.
You hear Charnor Wingstyle muttering some magical words behind you.
What's he uttering?
Magical words.
Do I recognize them?
Make a Arcana check.
Alright, Arcana check. Alright, let's see. Arcana. Go, Arcana. Alright, I get a 12.
It sounds like what's it called? Sounds like some either, I can't remember how it's divided, but it's wizardry or sorcery, but not divine magic. It sounds like arcane magic to you.
Okay. But I say to the golem, I say in my celestial tongue, I say, the great crown of Greenest that was taken has been returned to a mighty angel of the celestial realm. I do not know what you are or what you are here for, great creature of the heavens, but it seems that you hold a great sword of the Founder, and I serve the great God himself, the great God of light and hope and justice. And and she says, I shall vow to you that I shall bring vengeance and wrath upon those who have taken my love and who has taken my friends from this world, and I shall take vengeance upon death itself. And she stands up and she bows to, she nods respectfully to the great golem, and she gets out our holy waters and blesses the soldier of the founder, and says does some sort of blessings upon it.
Okay. Again, it's not reacting. It's just standing there impassively.
And after that, she goes back towards the person that was incanting the spells. I say, "Why are you incanting your magics?"
I am always interested to learn, but I do not speak your celestial language. So I said a little magic trick I've learnt, which helps me to understand languages I don't know. It is always interesting to hear more about the universe and learn from your wisdom and your good heart. You inspire me, he says. Again, you don't think that's very sincere.
She says, you are a very odd guild, I must say. But I do not trust anyone or anybody. I have seen succubuses that hide themselves in human forms. I have seen the dragon cult themselves that serve Tiamat hide themselves within other guilds and in this plane of the existence. I have seen the Fae do it as well. I do not trust anybody or anything. I only trust myself and the words of my God now. For he is my guidance, and he is the path to righteousness and to light itself. And one day, if I am lucky, one day I shall join him. I shall be part of his holy round table and join his mighty soldiers in the afterlife.
Very well. Is there anything else you want to do? I mean, I've got the impression of what you're sort of saying and how you're saying it. Is there anything else you want to do in this meeting? Or because I'm not sure you'll get anything more out of it. Is there anything you're going to try and...
The only thing I'll try and say is, like, if you wish to help us, help us. If you wish not to help us, then go. It's your decision.
What? Where are you going next? He says. Possibly we can fall in with you and assist you in your travel.
We are going to the sands of Tumakat, I think it's called, isn't it?
Tumakat?
Yeah.
And I do not know the sands. Could that be Anaurach, the desert?
Yes. I am traveling there to seek something of importance. But there's nothing for you to... It's nothing of your interest.
We may be able to assist you, he says. Tell us more.
I seek a relic of the sands itself. A relic to return.
Yeah, Bale, you're not there to cough.
I know. I just can't help myself.
I say I'm there because I'm neutral good and I have to be good.
It's nothing. It's just I know you're playing your character.
I have to be good. I have to be that nature. I say I'm going on a holy quest to search for an artifact of the sands itself, to return to a great man that will help me in my endeavor, so that I can then go to see Lathander himself and get the most holy of all items, the great blessed sword of Lathander himself, a sword of light and
this is a noble quest, he says, and unfortunately we are very busy, but maybe I can give you some, if you come across any of my brothers. There are many of us in the world. I can give you something.
Very well.
To help you.
I always need good allies against the great Tiamat.
Yes. So here, he writes a quick. He uses his signet ring to stamp the top of a piece of paper and writes a quick sort of passage of safe conduct and alliance, instructing members of the members of the Zentarim, to the Black Network, to support you and not to oppose you in your to not to oppose you, and to give you what support they can in your quest into Anorach, if you should come across them. And he cuts his finger and signs it in blood, and he when he puts his wax and his seal on the bottom of it, he goes and tears out a bit of his hair and seals it into the wax, and hands you this letter of safe conduct and passage and alliance. Good luck on your quest, he says.
Yes, she sort of ties it up and puts it in a little tube box, type thing with a lid, type thing, like a scroll casket box thing. Puts it in her bag and says, "Thank you so much for this great alliance. It is always good to have mighty men and women on my side. I have seen death many times, and I have seen people lost to my cause. It has broken my heart to see most of my dear friends, and even the ones that I truly admire and love, gone before me. I wish this fate not upon you or any of your guild members. For anyone that follows me, death is to follow, no doubt."
I am sure. Okay, so you finish your conversation. It's getting late. You're pretty tired. Is there anything else you'd like to do before you turn in?
No, I just shake his hand and I bid a good day or good evening and go to rest for the night.
Okay. And Bale, anything you're doing this evening before turning in?
Yeah, over cups of drink with the king. Bale will...
call me Lord.
Bale will be dropping suggestions subtly about these uninvited guests, and suggesting that one should keep an eye on them, and maybe the best way to keep an eye, since they're in between employment, since they've already aligned themselves as mercenaries for truth, maybe it would be beneficial to hire them for your keep, and you're forced to protect you, where you can keep an eye upon him, and maybe save some of your soldiers by having them as the point on the spear for whatever retribution that the dragon cult may want to throw towards your way.
It's very wise suggestions, he says. He sends no, he goes himself and briefly outlines the suggestion that they see if they can come to some negotiation, and they agree to talk about it tomorrow morning. The giant and the Lord. But as I said, my promises to you still stand. The rock has recovered from the fight against Juth, or will have by tomorrow morning, and I have not forgotten my oath. I or Esclarota will guide. We will fly you to where you wish to go, and deliver to you. You said you wish to go somewhere into the desert or something, and we are ready to transport you wherever you wish. And you always have a place in our hall and a seat at our table.
Bale will grasp his forearm in friendship and
Mhm.
and shake and say and tell him you always have an ally from the wood elves of the Misty Wood.
But his forearm is so big that you can only really grasp a little bit of flesh of his forearm rather than his forearm. But
All right, but still,
yeah,
that's the action, and then he'll bid him a good night, and he'll find himself a window where he can catch a breeze and see the woods below
hmm
to try to get a nice evening's trance.
yep. You can smell the breeze coming up from the forest, and you sort of plant yourself on a very wide window ledge and enter your trance up there. Eliza, you you are sleeping, and I guess your dreams are going everywhere, but they'll go to your mother. What do you think? Describe a little bit of what how you remember your mother, or what you're sort of a little bit of a dream to reflect how you're thinking about at the moment.
She views Mom kind of like you know how kids think of Disneyland as like the best place on earth? Well, she's like that for people when it comes to Mom, because Mom's just awesome. Mom's never been mad with her. Mom's excited whenever Eliza, whether on purpose or accidentally, discovers a new bit of magic that she has, because magic kind of runs in the family a bit. Her mom's really pretty. I have a picture, but I recently cleaned up my desktop, so it's in a folder somewhere, and
No
it
sweat.
took me a couple minutes to dig out, but whatever.
So
it's she just, whenever she thinks of Mom, whether it's in waking or in dreaming, it's pretty much never going to be bad stuff. She's seen her mom injure people with magic before, and she's seen her mom kill somebody, but she didn't realize it was killing with magic before. But those were things that neither of them could really prevent. So.
Yeah. Okay, so your dreams are flitting around as normal. You dream sometime of your mum, and you feel like you're in the presence of your mother. But both Noodle and Nugget are sort of playing around before you, and you start playing with them, and you feel your mother. Your mother start plaiting your hair or something like that, and then you notice as she's plaiting your hair that her hand is all twisted and gnarly and knotted and old, and you turn round to look at your mother, and if you look in roll 20, instead of your mother, this is the face you see.
Oh.
And she says, "Oh, you're a pretty little one. What's your name?"
I'll be right back. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Anyone got any sort of requests or anything that they'd like to do before? What are your plans?
All right, I can't. I'm back. I can't make people not yell, but I can at least close my door. So
yeah, no. So you see, you're a pretty one. What's your name? No, she says you're a tasty-looking one. What's your name?
I need to roll I think I need to roll how afraid Eliza is, because I don't think she's dumb enough to be Well, unless she turns out to be dumb enough again with a roll, but I don't think she's dumb enough to be like, I'll be nice to the scary looking lady.
No. I mean, unless you completely crit fumble, sort of.
So what would I roll to stay like, not afraid? I maybe a con.
I usually do a wisdom for sort of save against fear, and it's not a deliberate. You can choose how brave she's feeling. How
I am very afraid. I can't speak. I'm just kind of staring in what would probably be, which is very much just abject horror.
Okay, this basically, you don't speak. You're paralyzed with fear, but she just speaks to you, saying that she's going to. Your mother can't save you now, and nor can your new friends. And she's pleased that you've fallen in with these new friends because they've got nasty, stringy old meat, but you look juicy and tasty, and she'll a good mouthful, a good feast for when she comes for you, and just your whole night is spent. She says, and tell your new friend Claire that she cannot escape dread Hecate. We are on her back, and the dread three will take her. She is trying to take what is ours, and it will not be. We shall eat you. We shall eat. Gundreda will be ours, and so will all of your souls be. And all of your souls within a month, they will be traveling around in our bags in the hells, being bartered with demons and devils. And she's just making all sorts of promises, and it's no more than that. But
just I rolled a 4. I have a -1 to wisdom.
Okay,
it made sense.
You're still paralyzed. Just a quick, you got the pseudo dragon. Does the pseudo dragon have any?
I have to look real quick. Magic resistance.
Does it have any? What senses does it have?
It has keen senses, so advantage on wisdom, like perception checks that rely on scent, hearing, or smell, and then it has magic resistance. So as long as I'm like specifically within 10 feet of it, which it's in my lab. So if she tried to magic me of any kind that isn't elemental, I'd resist it.
There is no saving throw against what she's doing, I'm afraid. But I think there would be some sort of physical effects. Make an intelligence roll for the pseudo dragon, and if it makes a 10 or more, it'll go off and try and find some help.
Well, I'm pretty good at. I'm okay at that. It's a 10 or more, so
it's not you. It's the pseudo dragon that needs to make the roll.
Right. Well, 13, so it's above 10.
13. Is that?
I have no pluses.
Oh, so it was just a roll of a 13, and the
I was just like I have a 10 in that, so I can just use that for anybody. Yep.
And the pseudo dragon's intelligence is the same. So the pseudo dragon, you can roll the pseudo dragon. You can. You're having nightmares. The pseudo dragon cottons on. How would it react? You can play the pseudo dragon at the moment.
So I'm having nightmares,
it can kind of suspect that there's something magical going on.
Yeah. What I envision this to be, because the telepathy that I share with a pseudo dragon is like emotional and image based and stuff. It's it's in my arms while I'm asleep and stuff. So it 100% probably. I don't think it could hear per se
It
what
possibly
this
has the
woman
same
has
image.
said.
It possibly
But
gets images from your dream.
But it could. But it's such
Yep.
a. They're so we're so close together that it's not images. It's a video that's on mute, and it can get every feeling that I have and stuff because it feels my emotion. It can sense my emotions and stuff. So it wakes the hell up and clambers out of my hand, out of my grasp, and out of my bag, and is probably going to try and sense sense a brain, I guess, basically saying like until like it's going to be trying to sense people via its limited telepathy and be running all over the place, and as soon as it gets within 100 feet of somebody that has a language, it's going to basically dump all of this on them.
Okay, 1 to 3 it'll be Bale, 4 to 6 it'll be Claire. Just roll and see who it comes across first.
So a 1d3.
1d6, 1 to 3. Low, it's Bale. High, it's Claire. It doesn't matter what you roll. Okay, it comes across Bale in a trance on the window ledge first.
Yeah, so Bale, you see my pseudo dragon and just kind of goes.
But he's kind of unconscious at the moment. How does the pseudo dragon attract?
It'll bite him. It'll bite him to wake him up, and then as soon as he's awake, it'll do the image dump.
So, Bale, yep, you're in a trance, and you sooner or later you become aware of the pseudo dragon nipping at you.
Nipping at me. How hard?
Not enough to do a hit point.
Yeah,
but,
I'm not going to say enough to deal damage. It's chewing on you so that you feel the pinpricks of its teeth, but that's about it. It nibbles on your nose because that's probably the least protected part of your body. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what armor you may or may not have. So it would be chewing on your nose to wake you up, and then as soon as it is, it just goes image dump, run.
Yes, you see it's agitated, and you get the picture in your head of that thing that is on roll 20.
All right, that thing in roll 20.
For my character, am I having this is like a vision dream thing? Am I having like a seizure or stroke or something?
It's affecting you badly.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
Okay, that image. All right, Bale would.
There's a scared pseudo dragon, and you get images of fear and that, and anxiety. For you also get a picture of the child, Eliza.
Bale will go ahead and shrug it off. He'll go back to ignore it and to go back to his trance. He's saying and thinking in his mind, I've seen hags and slain hags.
You're seeing images of Eliza. You're getting emotions of fear and anxiety. You're seeing images of the hag, and you shrug that off. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Bale's not really kid friendly.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
He's not. Okay. So the eventually it's not. It can't get its mouth open wide enough to nibble on a giant, and it doesn't want to use its an attack to wake up a giant, and they're all in a bit of a stupor. So eventually, it finds Claire.
All right, does the same thing to Claire, and I'm going to say now that if Claire ignores anything, it actually will be an attack.
Yep.
Like an actual bite attack. and you'll be in a trance or asleep. So it'll basically be a coup de grace. So it'll be an auto hit, just so everyone's aware.
Claire, you are you there, David?
Yes, I'm here.
So yeah, Claire. Claire is bitten on the nose by Eliza's pseudo dragon, and you get this image, the Roll20 image, and fear and concern,
Fine.
an emotion of fear and concern.
I go over to the the child with my prayer wheel and items.
Okay, she's in a different. No, she wouldn't be. She'd actually be. She's actually sleeping with Diggory, but Diggory hasn't woken up, or I don't know exactly why. Diggory went out. Diggory had gone out for a walk in the night.
Diggory likes me the most, so I bunked with Diggory.
Yes, you bunked with Diggory. Diggory's gone out for but Diggory just happened to have gone out for
he had to take
walk.
a piss, and then this happened.
Yes. So I go over to where Diggory is, because no doubt he told me where to go, where he is.
Mm-hmm.
So I knock on the door and say, Diggory, is it alright if I come in? It's I, Claire, coming to...
There's no response at the moment.
Alright, I push the door. I see if the door is open and unlocked.
Yep, it'll be open.
Alright. I walk in and sort of like cover my eyes a bit and say, sorry, Diggory.
No, Diggory's not there, and you see...
Right, I still do it, though.
Okay.
You know, being polite and being, being
And
a lady.
Diggory's not there, fair enough.
Yes. And yes, what I see once I get inside.
You get in, and you just see... you see the girl is just having sort of seizures or terrible dreams. She's sort of white, stretched out, and in a terrible way.
So what I do is I get some salt, and I put like a ring of circle around her, a ring of salt around her, and like like sprinkle some salts, and I shall say, I get my Bible or thing, and I say, I shall compel you, mighty demons, in the name of Lathander, be gone from this sanctuary of salt and bricktole of the Thunder's might and holiness. Be gone in the name of the Father and the Holy Spirit.
Make it so the I guess you're doing a turning. Is that is that your sort of the actual effect?
Yes, I'm sort of like, yeah, I'm
trying
turning. I'm trying
to turn an effect.
Yes.
Okay. What is the let me just have a quick read of turning, because this could well work, but I just need to
in other words, I'm doing the have you ever seen Exodus, when they go into the room and they see the girl floating from the bed? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much that. So are you specifically trying to use like turn undead in a...
Yes.
Because that's the only turn thing that I know about.
Oh, yeah, you've only got turn undead, unless... Well, actually, or are you turn
channel
undead,
divinity
or
makes
are you
sense.
using turn... you've got two turn things, haven't you? You've got the turn undead or turn... what's your paladin turn?
I don't know.
Paladin, your paladin turn is turn... Let me just have a quick look. As Oath of Vengeance. You've got Abjure Enemy.
Yes.
But you've got to be able to see the enemy.
Yes.
And I think you can't see anything. Okay.
No, I just do the basic clerical thing of trying to like I'm not turning undead, because it's not undead that she is facing. What I'm doing is the typical to cleanse, to like typical clerical thing that a person would do if they see someone having a bad dream.
Okay.
So in other words, I'm just like getting the salt, sprinkling the salt around the bed, make sure that she's, like she's in a circle, and get in my and then get out my holy waters and start spraying the holy waters over her body, holding the mighty book of Lathander. So I'm like trying to like what's it called?
Exercise.
Exercise. Yes, I'm exercising the demons.
Yeah. Technically speaking, you don't have a channel divinity that covers that, but honestly, that's just smart and would work because it's divine stuff versus not so good things, I guess.
Yeah, in other words, I'm doing the old clerical. I mean, there's no rules for it, but
Yeah,
hey.
that's kind of what I'm saying. There's no rules, but good move.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm just doing the clerical thing.
Yep. So, in your dream, you do vaguely hear this this incantation and invocation in the background, and also this woman who is threatening you and things. She also reacts to it and listens to it a little bit. And what's your spell save? What's your DC, Claire?
My DC is a whopping, because I am gone up a level, I'm guessing. Is a whopping, let me see, saving DC. Cleric is a whopping 16.
Okay, so let me see.
Mine's higher.
So, she smiles and says, "Lathander cannot reach you here." But you don't actually hear this. Only Eliza hears this, and you do your best and you chant round, but it doesn't seem to end her dream. And eventually, sort of you march. Are you going to march around for an hour or more? And
oh yeah, definitely. I'll just keep spraying her with holy waters from my flask, and like with the salt round her bed, type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd even have like candles lit, type thing. Because I'm trying to expel this thing. So yeah.
A quick question. Holy water. Do you think it affects things that are in the ethereal plane or only on the prime plane?
I do not know. I mean,
well, technically, how would it affect a demon that's possessing a body if it only affected the body?
Well,
That's a little bit of, granted, pulp culture, but like logic to that.
What do you think, Charlie?
They can't dump holy water and affect a spirit if you're dumping holy water on a body to get the spirit away.
If the spirit is actually possessing you, but this is slightly different. I'm not sure.
You could probably.
I'd say it depends on how it's being done, because there's certain circumstances where evil creatures that are in the ethereal, that's how they're invisible, and combat with, you can do damage with holy water, technically, I think. But if projecting, they're not right there in that area. So throwing the holy water, it's the distance issue.
I'm gonna say make an attack roll with your holy water. If you hit, but it's invisible, so you don't know where you're aiming. But make an attack roll with your holy water. If you hit, you need to get 17 or more.
Dex or strength?
You're throwing something on somebody. It would be Dex.
Dex, yep.
Okay.
Okay, yep, you're splashing it all over, but she, without you knowing, she's just sort of keeping an eye on you and moving around. She can see you, you can't see her, so she's avoiding, cautiously avoiding getting touched by the holy water. And I'm afraid she finishes,
I was gonna ask, or I
go on,
had
go
asked,
on.
but I wasn't answered.
Oh, sorry.
Could I actually attack in my dream?
Um,
Can I attack? Can I shoot lightning up this hag's nose, basically?
this is definitely a dream, and I'm. You
If it's a
you
dream,
try
all of a
it.
sudden,
You
man,
dream
I'm
it.
turning
You
into-
dream it. You
turn
dream
into
the lightning
circles.
up her nose, but it doesn't. It doesn't. She just sort of breathes it in. It's in the dream world.
It's fine. That's what I wanted. It's a dream. Now she turns into flowers. I'm a lucid dreamer.
But she controls the dream.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yep. So I'm afraid when morning finally comes, you're exhausted. You haven't regained any spell slots that you lost yesterday. And can you roll a d10?
Sure.
No, just Eliza.
All right. Okay.
Oh no.
1. Okay,
Wait,
you're
no,
not.
that was a 1d1. Sorry,
Oh, yeah.
the 10 didn't go. It was an 8.
You are feeling exhausted after the night, and you've lost 8 points of maximum hit points. They can only be restored by powerful magic beyond your magic at the moment, I think.
Oh
so
no.
Don't. How I reckon you should write it down on your character sheet is because it is possible to get back, but not through long rests, not through anything like that. So just do. What is your maximum?
I will write down what my old maximum was,
Yes.
and I'll keep track of it, what it would be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you've lost 8 points of maximum potential hit points, but
that's not good.
When morning comes, and the last message is, tell Claire that Gundreda will be mine and all of you will be ours within a month. Anyway, then you wake up. Then sort of gradually you wake up.
Claire goes back to her room and tries to
I
get
grab
some rest.
Claire because I'm a little child and I like my vision of this is like it is I'm all sweaty, like in a cold sweat kind of thing, and I grab Claire and I just say, or I tell her, people want to, like, I couldn't hear everything that you said because stuff was loud. What did the hag say was the group after Claire?
Gundreda, the other child, will be ours, and you will all be.
No, it was someone is on her, like on her back and stuff, and she can't hide. So who was that?
Oh, Dread Hecate will find you. I'll write that.
Yeah. I look at Claire, all freaked out as I am. Someone named Dread Hecate said they're gonna get you and Gundreda.
They can try as much as they want. This child will be saved, and she will not be cursed by the wicked hag's plague. From now on, child, you will be under my protection and well, I guess in my guidance for now.
Yeah, Dread Hecate and the Dread 3 is what I said. So yeah, okay.
Come, little one. I shall protect you as much as I can. I give you my word.
Wish I hadn't realized that 1d1 wasn't a 1d1 and thought it was a d10. I lost max HP. That's so not good.
I give you my word that I shall bring you no harm. And these things, these hags, shall pay for what they have done to you.
I don't know. I don't really know how. I've never had my max HP lowered. Like, what would I look? I might have like some strands of gray hair or something now.
Bale, I'll jump back to Bale now. Bale, you come out of your trance in the early hours of the morning. You can hear the sort of dawn beginning to sort of take hold on the forest below. There is the rock up on one of the turrets, just stretching its wings and stretching its wings. You can hear occasional screams of hobgoblins from the forests below, no doubt hunted by elf hunting parties.
All right.
Diggory has been drinking. Diggory, I've decided, was drinking through the. He went out for a piss, but met Blagothcus, and they had a few more to drink that night, and they fell asleep in the Great Hall. So they weren't aware of what happened.
Of course they weren't.
Oh,
He had
okay.
one job: watch the kid. He had one job.
Bale will, hearing the screams of the hobgoblins, and what he's going to breathe in the sound of the morning freshness and enjoy it as it carries on. And he will think to himself, the screams of my enemies in the morning is such a refreshment to my soul. And then say, let me go check on the mother hen. She may have a new chick. She likes to pick up strays and weak ones. And so he'll head on down to where Claire was taking her respite.
I'm going to throw in one other thing to make an investigate roll as well.
What the status is on her situation.
Who had to make the investigation roll?
Oh, sorry, Bale. Can you make an investigation roll? DC 10.
Failure.
Okay. So you go down to check on Claire, but you meet Gundreda at the door of her door. She was up all night. She was up all night because Eliza has apparently been visited by a hag during the night, and she was up all night trying to rid the hag of the possession, and she's now asleep, I guess. Is that what you would be doing, Claire, or are you going to fight on?
I guess in like
you don't have your spells back yet.
No, I'm sleeping right now.
Okay.
Claire's just sleeping in her armor, on the chair, sitting down, leaning against the wall, like that, leaning against the.
You tried to be vigilant, but you couldn't stay awake long enough.
Yeah.
And I guess now, I'm afraid today, just for the effect of this, you're not going to be able to. You might fall asleep occasionally, but you're too scared to really sleep at the moment properly.
That's fine. I just have to remember what I used because I had cleaned out my sheet because I thought we had gotten
a full long
everything.
rest. Yep. Okay. But eventually, Claire, you'll come round from your sleep. You will get your full, if that's what you want. You want to wait until you've got your full 8 hours. But Eliza, you cannot sleep until sort of the next night. You can try. What would you like to do today? Gundreda speaks quietly to Claire. Every day I am older and closer to my closer to what is happening.
Well, now that the meal and the party is over, I must now speak to the cloud giants, and hopefully they will listen to my plea. Come, let us go and seek the grand lord of the keep and ask him of this favor that I seek. So Claire will go to speak to the king and the queen of the castle.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Bale, what would you do before Claire wakes up? Anything?
Seeing that she's asleep, I would, and being slothful in Bale's mind, and only that hag child being there, he will take a stroll around the castle to inspect the fortifications and see if the uninvited guests are up to no good. He'll attempt to do it nonchalantly.
Okay, make a perception roll.
Okay, that's not too bad. That will be a 25.
Okay. Very sort of after checking on Claire, you only need 4 hours sleep. This is still sort of very early morning. Claire's just made her way back to her bed. It's before dawn's really broke. You've looked out over the forests and you see what you take to be basically it's that giant golem. When I say giant, it's a large creature, 12-foot tall golem kind of thing, flying. It flies from the lower courtyard. It has sort of white feathery wings, and it's carrying the half orc and the human, and it seems to be flying under the castle.
Wow, it would take all of my sorcery points, but so I'm not going to do it. But I was going to ask if I could regain my spell slots using the flexible casting feature. But
if you can use any sort of if you've got sort of special.
I have the ability to. Oh, I can
substitute sorcery points for spell slots.
Yeah, I have that ability and stuff, but mathematically I can get everything back. It would cost everything I have.
You choose what you want to do. But Bale, how do you react when you see the flying?
Bale will go ahead and pull his rock horn and blow an alert warning to raise attention from the guards and the king and queen and their entourage, and hopefully the rest of my compadres.
Everybody will hear the rock horn in the background. It'll wake everybody, and the rock will be the first to react. It starts screaming back at you,
and I'll be pointing towards the escaping spies.
The rock comes flying down. It's friendly with you, but it's just had the rock horn blasted at it, and it doesn't know what to. And it's all excited, and when it gets excited, it might try and peck at you. Make a. What would you like to do as you see the rock coming in, all agitated?
Pointing at the with my finger and bow finger on one hand, bow in the other, for size and like that, showing. Look it down there; they're escaping.
Spies. follows your gaze and starts it lands on the battlements next to you, and watching them sort of hunkering down, ready to. It loves a hunt, and it just treats this as a hunt. But it's waiting for orders. It doesn't really, and it won't follow your orders. It'll only follow giant orders. So it's waiting for a giant to arrive. The first to arrive is well, actually, how do you all react? Eliza, you hear a horn blasted.
Yeah. I think I've been like, okay. I was almost asleep again just because I'm tired and stuff, and then I hear that horn and like scream just because it's a loud noise, and I'm already all jumpy, and I look out the window, and then I see, or like I look out the nearest window, probably see at least part of the rock's wing, and just and calm down a bit.
Yep. Claire. Oh, sorry, Eliza. Anything else?
No.
Are you going to run out, or are you going to stay where you are in safety?
Is the room that I and Diggory in like above the ground?
Yes.
Okay. I meant of the castle. But...
because it's Diggory. Let's say it's on the ground floor. But yeah, it's on the ground floor.
I was going to like fly down to like the ground of the castle and stuff. I wouldn't need to if like we were on the ground floor, because then I'll leave and go outside and stuff. And I'm like rubbing my eyes, and like the sun's really bright and it's terrible. But I do have a question about my languages. So when Eliza learned like the giantese word for shit, because she thinks that it means rocks have fallen, because the giant said it and stuff, and she asked. She learned that word when the rock was being trained 3 sessions ago and stuff. Did we actually learn any giantese words?
Yes, you sort of learn land, take off, attack, sort of a few things like that.
Gotcha. So pretty much the giantese words that would control the rock.
Yes, but it also takes. You've also learned it takes body language, and you need to be giant sized to really sort of transmit your orders to. It doesn't notice the body language, and so it may not. You may not be able to. You won't be able to control the rock.
That's fair. I mean, I don't really want to be controlling the rock. I was just having that question because it is a little bit important.
But you know the rock. You know giant. You know you could say the same words to a dog in giantish. You know the sort of commands you have for a dog.
Yeah. Eliza like looks at Bale and stuff
out on the battlements.
Yeah, just remembering like, oh yeah, people said that he has the horn for the rock. Okay, and then she's gonna sit down because she's exhausted, as you said, and stuff. And
Claire,
she literally just sits down and just watches what goes on.
Okay, and Claire, how do you react to the rock horn?
I just sort of go, what's going on now?
My scream might have woke you up too, to be fair.
Yeah. Yes. Looking out the window.
I guess have I got my full rest yet?
No, not yet.
Alright, I just go. I just draw the curtains and just go. I'm just like,
okay. Okay. So
bad mother hen.
Bale, you're on your own, except for the little matter of a cloud giant. Esclarota, the lady of the castle, gets there first.
What happened to you're under my protection, child?
You see what her word is worth if Bale hears that.
I have now, yes. Eliza will remember this.
But Bale will point out to the queen that they're escaping. They're spies. How could one that's been given
They
the
did not
honor
take-
of being guest, not letting their host know that they were leaving.
They did not take their leave of me, and that is bad manners. Do you fancy a hunt? She says, jumping on the back of the rock.
Do I hear any of this?
Yes, it's a giant isn't quiet.
Fair.
You don't hear what Bale says, but you hear what the giant says. She jumps on the back of the rock. Do you fancy a hunt? She says to Bale.
Bale's, without even answering, is right up behind her.
Okay. And she says a word. She says hunt, attack, and the rock just sort of leans forward and drops off the side of the battlement and spreads its wings. Well, actually, first of all, just starts dropping towards this flying opponent.
How far away are they at this time?
600 feet.
All right, that's okay. A little bit too far.
And Eliza, you see the rock dropping off, and sort of in a moment or two it'll be gone. Do you want to do something to try and catch, or not?
I would use one of my rock feathers to increase my flight speed instead of you said that increases carry weight. I'll spend the spell slot. I will cast fly upon myself and follow along at I believe it's 30 feet.
60 for flight.
Is it 60? Okay, then yeah, 60.
But I'm afraid you're not as fast as either of these. You soon realize as they're streaking through the sky. As the rock starts plummeting, the other one starts plummeting, and then they both sort of come out of the swoop at the last minute. And the rock as the rock fell, it caught up. So now it's about 250 feet behind, but it doesn't seem to be gaining on the flying humanoid anymore.
Okay, 250 feet, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Bale will shoot an Eldritch Blast at him.
250 feet?
Yeah, it's going to fall 10 feet short.
Okay.
Because of the spell sniper. He gets double the range.
I really need spell sniper too.
And like that, and
just thinking if no, I'm going to say that it's only a large. If it was huge or gargantuan, the tail bits of it would be within range. But because it's only large, it's not.
But Bale pretty much figuring it was a stretch. But he's hoping that it gets their attention and has them possibly swing, find out what more of their motives are, or if they're running to hide, or if they're looking for a fight, or if they're just going to parlay. So it's kind of like the traditional shot across the bow type.
Yeah,
thing.
The shot across the bows gets their attention. They look back, and there seems to be a bit of a discussion going on between the human and the half orc. At the moment,
when I catch up, I'll encase them in an egg again, and they'll just fall. It's fine.
At the rate they're going, you realize you're not going to catch them.
Yeah,
They're
I know.
already...
I'm saying more as a joke. So when I catch up, it's fine. I'll just put them in eggs, and they'll fall and die.
So they're zooming. They're heading up. They just sort of concentrate. They seem to just concentrate on flying as fast as they can, and the rock flies as fast as they can, but they can't close the distance.
All right,
let's see if they can outfly. Let's see if they've got the stamina to outlast a rock. Says says the giant.
And if they, since they continue to try to evade, then not Lone Hunter, but Bale will pull off Kamal and take 2 shots at them. Let's see here. He'll pick at the human.
Okay. Make 2 shots.
All right. That will be, since I didn't say, the second shot would be with the sharpshooter for the damage. But the first one will be, let's see here, it's a 14 on the die plus 8. So that's a 20. Yeah, that's 26. No, 22.
22. Okay.
Yep.
As you
And the second one misses.
Okay, the first one flies true. Last minute, it veers and hits the half orc, slamming through his shield and into his arm, bloodying him, but not as badly as you'd expect. Tell me the damage.
All right. That will be 12 points of damage.
Okay, it stabs through his shield, but only knocks his arm on the other side, and he laughs and breaks off the arrow and shouts, "You'll have to do better than that against me."
When it's technically, I guess, would be my turn, I just kind of stop. I'm never catching them. I go back.
Okay.
I'm too tired for this.
Yeah.
I am going to be a tattletale. I'm going to go tell Blathoscus that his daughter left.
Okay. He runs up to the battlements with you. He heard the rock horn. He's last on the battlements, and he also was flying out after you. But he says, "I cannot keep up with the rock, and I don't know what that beast is, but it's flying mightily fast. I thought the rock was rocks can outfly dragons. I don't know what that is."
They're on the celestial, like, whatever, right? You said they were on like the dude in armor.
Yeah, the dude in armor has white feathery wings, so you guess it might well be a celestial. Yep.
Yeah. Does Blathoscus have a lot of hair and stuff?
Yes, he's got a big beard. All
right. I literally fly into his beard and cocoon up. I'm going to try and take a nap, and before I try and nap, I just say, "Angel Armor Man is really fast."
So
and then starts snoring softly.
You follow for you. Decide how many arrows you want to fire, but Bale, but I'm really not going to go through this as a combat. They're not going to fire back. Yeah. They're just going to keep their distance, and you notice your arrows are deflected into the half-orc's shield, and the shield absorbs half the damage, though your good blows punch through, but don't do an awful lot of damage to the half-orc, who seems...
Bell would only take 2 more shots, and seeing the ineffectiveness of what he's attempting, then he's not going to waste his arrows.
Then, after the chase, you chase for a while, but but rocks have enormous stamina, but the Celestial is immune to exhaustion. So in the battle, eventually even the rock will tire, and your prey get away, and you eventually make your way back to the castle. And at this time, Claire has finished her long rest, and Diggory is also ready to go to the desert. If you are willing to fly there, is that your next? That was the plan to go to the Tomb of Martek.
Yeah, it sounds like both bosses might at most go to wherever the rock ends up landing and just scold his daughter and then drag her home, is what it sounds like.
It's not his daughter, it's his wife. So he's not going to scold his wife. Esclarota, the wife, eventually turns round and comes back with a rock, and
since I actually decided to sleep, what will that actually do for me?
I'm afraid you are not going to get the benefit of a full sleep until for this 24 hours.
Okay.
It's but
can
you're
I
not,
at minimum remove exhaustion? I'll have slept. Like, I'm fine with not having spell slots.
I think you can only remove exhaustion with a long rest naturally, unless.
Well, there's exhaustion you can remove with a.
We've allowed it with
one level for long rest, and also with one level for lesser restoration. You could do it.
Yep, that's what we've been doing as well.
Yeah, I guess I don't know what level of exhaustion I have.
What level of exhaustion? I mean, do you?
I mean,
I haven't. Did I give you a level of exhaustion?
You did not.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to give you a level of exhaustion for that. I'm just going to say you don't get the benefits of a long rest, and also you lose the D10 hit points.
Right. So I guess that basically, if I'm sleeping as much as possible in Bloodflossy's beard and things like that, with enough travel time, because I'm sure someone can carry me and things like that, my backpack can hold me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I could at least take a long rest while we travel and remove exhaustion. Like I said before, I am fine with not having the spell slots.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Claire, Bale, and Eliza. Eliza's really a child, so Claire and Bale, your next move
is to go to the to Sands. I mean, that's my goal.
You get out the map that you got a long time ago in Candlekeep, showing the location, and flying at rock speed. It's approximately 140, 150 miles from where the castle is, but you could possibly get there on a sort of forced march over the course of a day. 2 days, maybe. Is that cool. Does that suit you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Bale will make a couple remarks to Claire that picked up another stray, another chick for the wannabe mother hen. Yes, and shake his head.
Okay.
And Bale sees Eliza like that level of tired where you're like, I just finesse everything so I can get to sleep and stuff. She gives Diggory her bag and climbs inside and then zips it almost zips it almost all the way up.
Yep. And then you
And you guys consider me sleeping.
Fasten your equipment inside the feathers of the rock, warm and about as warm and sort of warm and protected from the elements as you can get. And the rock with Esclarota this time flying you takes to the air and circles above the clouds, and then heads off northeast, flying. And it gets cold. It's very cold up here, but protected in the feathers. And you're in a rock. There's nothing's going to attack you, or is it? You don't expect anything to attack you, but you fly. The rock flies on for the rest of that day towards the sort of and the sun eventually sets and the sky goes purple and then black. And as it goes black and you're there, you feel sleep drawing in on you in this sort of protection, surrounded by these warm feathers. It's possibly the most comfortable bed you've ever had, sleeping in rock down. There's plenty of space for you. You can breathe.
Well,
and
I'm in my backpack.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I definitely could have pulled all the feathers and things I pulled from the very first time I met the rock and stuff, and would be sleeping on that. But I am in my backpack and probably on Diggory's back, like literally he's carrying me, like how the first time I explained how this works with how my mom would do it.
Yep. And Diggory is within the feathers of the rock.
So I feel extra cushioned, but not necessarily. I don't necessarily feel softer.
Mm-hmm.
Probably what I'm feeling.
Yep. And as you drift off, Eliza, again, you see this. Again, Hecate comes to visit you. Dread Hecate comes to visit you again tonight.
I don't like this. Can I have been prepared?
Yes. What would you like to have done just in case?
I normally don't have the spell prepared, but can I say that I have prepared Dispel Magic? I'll be out of third level spells if I do this.
Yes, you can cast. You can prepare Dispel Magic, but you will be asleep.
Yeah, basically in the dream, because I don't necessarily know this out of character, but in character, out of character, this is most likely a projection that this hag is doing and things, probably through some kind of scrying or divination spell. If I dispel it, I can sleep. So if I dispel it in my dream, I should be okay.
Okay. Any of the rest of you taking any precautions tonight?
Bale just being on watch and keeping the eye to the sky for dragons and Truth.
Mm-hmm.
Since he does know that Truth did get away, because he doesn't have the trophies of Truth that dangle upon himself. So
you've got a few Truth's younger girlfriends and trophies,
yes,
but not Truth himself.
Yes, the prized one. But basically just staying up on watching like that, trying to be aware, knowing that our cleric wannabe paladin is somewhat slothful, and she likes to sleep and eat her bonbons and read her her dailies.
So yep, you're on watch, looking for the sky. You're very high, so you look up occasionally, but you look down as much as up because just to check. But also, the speed that the rock flies, you've seen Chuth fly. Chuth wouldn't be able to catch this rock. So you think unless it's waiting ahead of you for some kind of in some kind of ambush, it's not going to catch you. It's not unless it knows the direction you're going. Chuth isn't going to catch you. You're pretty sure.
And we have 3 spies that left, so Bale is on edge. His natural distrusting of strangers is coming to possibly be helpful.
Mm-hmm. And Claire, how do you settle down for the night on the back of the rock?
She grabs some feather, she will well, she's already slept already. So I guess she'll just
eventually you'll sleep again. I mean, this is going to be a long day.
So she'll sort of grab onto some of the grab on some of the really thick embedded feathers on the back of the rock, and sort of lay on her front, type thing, sort of in a the seated position, legs apart over the sitting down but leaning forwards, and then holding on for dear life.
If you sort of embed, basically there's about 6 feet of feathers between the sort of outer layer of feathers and the rock's body. When it's flat, when the feathers are fairly flat, when it sort of fluffies it out, it can be up to 12 or 15 feet. So you're on the back of something massive, and you can sort of embed yourself in feathers without risk of falling off.
Cool. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. And do you take any preparations for the night?
I guess make sure that I got on my sword and shield and everything else, and everything else really.
Okay.
In other words, not leaving anything behind.
Okay. Okay. And night falls, and as night falls, just in your dream, you just see you're sleeping, and you see yourself from outside. You see yourself sleeping with Diggory in Diggory's backpack, and then you sort of move out, and you sort of through the feathers, and you see the others sleeping around you in feathers as the giant is sort of drowsing on the back of this rock, who is also just gliding but asleep as it flies at an awful height. And then you see Hecate, Dread Hecate. On
is
Dread
this when I
Hecate
would have technically used the dispel magic?
Just give me a moment to sort of describe the scene, and then you see her sort of pull herself out of the tail feathers at the back, look around and sniff, and she and then start dragging herself a bit like in The Ring, or that thing that drags itself out of the television. It just dragging itself up the back of the rock towards you, and then it sort of wriggles down underneath the feathers down towards you, and that's when you can cast your spell.
Yeah, I just go. Yo. It, I wouldn't say it this way, but I'm more or less begun thoughting her. So, yeah, just stop, leave us alone. Bruh.
And she says, "You're too tasty to leave alone."
Wait, did she not leave?
Your magic. You rely far too much on your magic. She says, "This is not a spell. I cannot be dispelled. I am not some trick. I am not some magical trick. That is all you know in your young head. I will teach you more," she says. "My pretty, when I feast upon your juicy young flesh, you will learn." And again, you're having a bad dream. Diggory wakes up and wakes up the other people around.
That my pseudo dragon would once again be like sending all of the
everyone is aware. Everyone is aware that Eliza is having bad dreams and is being affected by this hag again.
Bale will take out Kamel.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to moderately rap on the backpack and say, Child, be still, be quiet. You're disturbing your mother hen."
Claire, what will you do?
Lisa doesn't like you people. You make her feel bad.
I'll wake up a bit and look at this child that's having her nightmares again, and I try once again to exile the demons within her. Begone!
Have you got any new techniques to try?
Let me see. What can I do at my current level?
Because you have since you've had a full night's sleep, so you can have memorized new spells.
I like to. Is she being cursed?
How would you know? It could be.
Yeah, I like to remove curse. I cast a spell remove curse.
Okay, so you do your salt and things upon her. It's a bit you're not quite used to it, but you sort of slap salt on her and invoke the blessings of Lathander.
Yeah.
And Dread Hecate, you see this from your dream, and Dread Hecate is laughing, saying, the cleric of Lathander has no idea. She is brave, but she is stupid. And she will. I will kill you before she has any effect on me.
I am not happy. I'll roll that other D10 now.
Any other ideas, Claire? Because your remove curse doesn't seem to Eliza's.
Okay, let me see what else I can do. Let me see what else.
So I see Claire casting some magic.
Yep.
And stuff. What Bale will do, since the kid isn't quieting down and going back to sleep, Bale will reach in through that opening gap and touch the kid and cast non-detection on it.
Okay.
Wait, what'd you cast on me?
Non-detection.
Oof. It does take powdered diamond, doesn't it? But
25 gold pieces worth.
You can have that. You can have that. That's all right. You rub the powdered diamond onto it and try to protect it from that, but whatever is there seems to already know where it is.
Yeah, but
I'm already marked. You can't not mark me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, actually, with non-detection, it sort of can.
Have you already? Just have a quick. Actually, make an investigate roll whilst you're casting this spell.
All right. Ooh, 19.
Okay. While you're getting the powdered diamond out of your pouch, you come across an eye. You come across an eye that seems to be looking at you. You remember you got this a long time ago when you were on Fairy Hill. There there was some woman dying after being crucified, and you sort of helped spare her, and she pushed this into your hand, or I can't remember exactly how you took it, but you took it and put it in your equipment, and you haven't referred to it since, and I haven't either, but you realize that what she gave you, and what you may not have realized it at the time, but now you recognize it as an eye.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You ripped the eye out of her socket and you said it's mine now.
But no, that's what Bell would be doing.
Okay.
As far as that, trying that, because he's hoping that it will hide the child from any scrying as such, and then maybe the kid will give him some peace.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that that a hag has marked me because I hang out with you people.
Claire.
Yes.
Welcome to yeah. This is the first time you've really met Bale. You're seeing him at his.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
So
Have you got any other ideas?
Yes, I wish to banishment this thing.
Do you need to be able to see it to cast banishment?
Voice, no. Concentration up to 1 minute. An item. That doesn't say I need to see it.
Yeah, it says. Yeah, it says you attempt to ascend one creature that you can see within range, and you can't see it. You can't see it. So I'm afraid banishment, you realise, won't work. Make an Arcana roll.
All right. Okay. All right. Arcana. All right. I got 10.
10. Possibly. What spells do you have memorized, or
Right.
you haven't probably memorized? Probably haven't chosen.
For my spells that I memorized, I have memorized for level 1. I have revised Healing Word, Cure Wounds. That's 2. Shield of Fate is 3. Protection from Evil and Good, which is 4.
Okay, that could be a good one.
All right, I will cast Protection from Evil and Good on her then.
Yep. On
Holy Water and Silver or Iron, which is the spell, which is what my spell consumes. So yeah, I get my Holy Waters, from my jug or my pouch, and I get a silver coin, place it upon her forehead, and pour the waters on her forehead.
and as you're doing that,
Protect this one from evil.
and you hear in your dreams you see Dread Hecate take a and recoil. Recoil and stagger back, and she says, "I will." You can protect her. You can protect her for a short time, but you can't protect. You can't protect yourself from all of us. And she runs screaming, holding the top of her head to the edge of the rock, and just throws herself off. But only. This is sort of
because my dream
only sees it because it's really a dream. It's sort of she was sharing a dream with you.
Well, I'm awake. You guys just see Eliza like bloodshot eyes because she just isn't allowed to sleep while she's around you people and stuff. You see her head creep out, and she says, "She's like, I'm scared." That
Hush now, child. Claire's driven off the beast, and hopefully she'll be able to keep it off you.
it's she's really there. It's not. She's not somewhere else.
What do you mean?
I thought when I first learned the spell, Mom my mom explained to me that when I try to get rid of people using spells on me, that I can use the spell I just discovered I have to get rid of it. And I tried that in my dream, and I felt the magic be used, but it didn't work. And that means that she was really there.
Well, hopefully, I don't think that's the last we'll have seen of her, but that's
going to eat me.
No one's going to eat you, says Diggory.
Shoot, you're not even a mouthful.
We've defeated hags before. Well, this one seems like a particularly nasty breed of hag, but we'll find a way to beat it. Won't we, Claire?
Yes, all hags can be defeated. I feel sorry for the hags. I mean, myself, I was taught by the elves of the forest, and I feel pity for these fae. They are so angelic creatures, and very one with nature, and very well, and very one with the earth itself. But it seems their greed or lust for power has got the best of them, and they have come corrupted. In a way, I feel sorry for these creatures of the woods, and I wish I could help them all, but I feel saddened that I cannot help all that have turned to the dark side and has fell to the hatred of greed, lust, and anger.
Anyway, you have rid yourselves of the hag for now. The rock flies on, dawn arrives, and it's bitterly cold outside, but at this height. But you fly on for a few more hours, and then you get to the place where, according to Bale's, Escalata consults Bale, and you get to consulting the map and the dawn and various stars that were still visible on the horizon. You kind of work out your position according to the map and start circling down to your left, to the sort of northwest. That you can see ice and snow, and it's bitterly cold. But to the right there is sort of dusty land with occasional bits of dry grass and little thorny bushes, though nothing big. It seems to be an arid, you're on some part of the desert, but not a hot, duney desert that you've heard of in stories. This is a very sort of dry, cold, arid desert that you are circling down towards, with large rocks, some monstrously huge rocks erupting out of the dusty ground, little bits of ice and snow being blown around. As you come down, you see almost no signs of life. Occasionally, nothing shows itself whilst the rock's around. Actually, thinking about it, the rock scares off all. Or if there is life around, it's hidden, and the rock circles down and down. But the rock does notice where you're circling down. You sniff a little bit of smoke, and following the scent of smoke, you circle and you see two tents. You see 2 tents around a campfire that's sort of burnt out, and next to the tents there is a wagon with 2 horses next to it, eating fodder from the wagon, and 1 person looking after the wagon. And the rock is eyeing the horses. Sure. Esclarota turns to you and says, "Will you be wanting that wagon, or shall I reward the rock with a morsel?"
Eliza isn't going to comment. Whenever she nods off now because she's terrified, she's ordered Noodle to like bite her arm so that she stays awake. She does not like sleeping anymore.
You have had a long rest though now, since the nightmare, and the last visit of the hag wasn't for long enough to have robbed you of hit points. So you've lost the original hit points.
Okay, I'll give those back.
No, it wasn't enough to rid you of the second lot of hit points, and you've had enough rest to get your spell slots back, or you've had a long rest basically. So you're down some permanent hit points, but not feeling as badly off.
I'm not crippled.
Yeah, you're not crippled. But the Esclarota turns to Bale and Claire. Do you want to keep that wagon, or shall I reward the rock with some fresh meat? There's also that human that could provide a good morsel.
Go and find. We do not wish to murder anyone right now. This person has probably done nothing wrong. So for now, go and find a good meal for your creature of the sky.
The human sees it last minute and goes and ducks into a tent, hoping that the tent will protect it from a rock.
Bell will say, "Well, the wagon may be useful since we have a person that likes to pick up so many strays and such. So she may find it useful. But as far as rewarding the rock with a fine treat, he's done such good work. Why not?
Choose. The rock deserves a morsel. Choose which horse you want to keep, and the other one I'll give to the rock as a reward.
Give him the guy that ran into the tent. Cowards shouldn't live.
Eliza points to the blue one. I like blue, or she points to like a black horse. The black horse. I like that one. She can't speak well right now.
But that's what Bale's suggesting as far as that. She'll let the rock and its handler make its own decision. That's the input from Bale.
The rock lands. There's a little cliff. Not a little. There's quite a large cliff, and the camp is at the bottom of the cliff. The rock will find it kind of difficult. The rock finds it easier to launch and take flight off a cliff than from the ground. So it drops you at the cliff, then swoops down, and in its claws picks up one of the horses, and the horse screams, but the scream doesn't last long as it's carried into the air with Esclarota, and you're on top of a cliff overlooking this camp in the desert. And this is, according to your map, this is just about where the entrance to the Tomb of Martek is.
Ah. Bale will turn to the rest and say, "Quiet. Let's sneak up onto this encampment to see whether they're friend or foe."
You also, according to the sort of picture and diagrams of your treasure map, which shows the entrance, somewhere in this cliff that you've landed on top should be an entrance, a sort of a little cave, though you can't see it from. You didn't notice it from above, and you can't see it from the top of the cliff.
Okay. So, don't see it from up
You don't
here.
see it from where you are, but that's where the
by the map, though. What direction would the map suggest we would have to go from the point that we were at?
pretty much you've flown to where you think you should be. So you think that the entrance is somewhere in this cliff, but you can't see it.
Okay. Is it dark or daylight or twilight?
It's just after midday.
Okay.
Could I make a perception roll to kind of find the entrance while the rock is flying us, like circling us around?
While the rock was circling you down, you'll have, yes, you can all make a perception. Well, whichever
I got
one
a
you
6.
want.
I don't see none.
Okay. Yep, you don't see it. There's wind in your eyes, and it's difficult to see. The cold wind is blowing in your eyes. There's a lot of water in your eyes. You don't see anything.
I bet I looked at it, but my hair got in the way or something. Ow.
Claire and Bale, did you?
Bale on the perception only got a 10.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
Claire's fine. She sees it.
Claire, oof. Okay, Claire, you see, the cliff is the cliff has no entrances or exits, but you do see a bat. At one stage, you do see a bat fly straight into the cliff and disappear. So you're pretty sure that there's an illusion covering the entrance to the mouth.
Okay. I point this out to everyone and say, it is illusion. The entrance is right there. I saw a bat fly through the illusion of the entrance.
But it would be quite a climb to go to get there.
But yes, it is a bit of a climb, but we can achieve this. And Claire heads in that direction.
So the thing is, do you want to go straight for the entrance to the tomb, or do you want to investigate the wagon and camp that was at the base of the cliff?
Yeah, I wish to investigate the wagon and the carriage at the cliff.
You all agree?
Yeah.
You all do the same, or
Yes.
how are you organising this?
Claire says to her friends, "Let's just investigate this wagon and see what's going on."
So,
Bale, either way, we got to go climb down off this cliff. So Bale's not.
you can go round the cliff if you want to. I mean, there would be a long way round to walk. The cliff will sort of. You can follow the way round the cliff, or which would take a couple of hours to walk around it, so you don't have to actually scale the cliff, or if you want to go down to the camp. But if you want to go to the entrance of the cave, you do need to scale the cliff. There's an alternative route to get down to the camp just by walking. It's quite long, or you could just scale down the cliff.
probably take the longer route than if we're going down to the camp to investigate them, and because that way we don't have to worry about the little ones falling, even though it wouldn't hurt Bale's feelings, but it may cause enough ruckus to warn somebody with their screams and splats.
Okay, so you make your way round the side.
Eliza
down.
like looks at Bale and says that she can fly. If that helps.
Okay, so you won't splat.
I can make you fly too.
Please do. Good push would help him fly, says Gundreda.
If so, basically what I'm saying is like I'm willing to spend the spell slots to make you and Claire fly or be able to fly, and then just yell or something so that I know that you guys got to where we're trying to go, and then I'll spend another use of fly and fly down myself because it's a concentration spell. I don't have 5th level spells yet. I can't affect all of us.
Don't waste resources. We can walk, and I'm very comfortable with being on the ground instead of relying upon something that will cause me to go splat. It hurt the one time.
Right there, we can get there if we just float down.
Well, I went splat one time and it hurt real bad. I'm not really crazy about that. And we were just doing fine flying. And then all of a sudden we fell out of the air.
That's like that.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, we'll walk. Just like, yeah, having skinny knees suck. I don't want that to happen to you.
You walk around, and as you're approaching the camp, a guy in sheep skins, goat skins, and a sort of goat skin hat, beard and thick robes and thick sort of cloak and robes of these parts, looks looks at you and waves when you're still a distance of 120 feet away.
Okay.
Hey, strangers, he says.
What language is he talking in?
Common, but he's got a heavy accent.
Okay.
Strangers.
Greetings.
What brings you to these God's forsaken parts?
None of your concerns.
Just like very literal. A bird flew us.
I say none of your concerns, traveller. But we are here on certain private matters. But tell me, good sir, are you a merchant or are you here on sort of other business?
Oh, I'm a stevedore. I drive the. My employers will be very angry with me. I'm employed to look after the horses, but they will not believe me when I tell them this giant bird the size of a mountain descended from the sky and took one of my charges. They will take it out on my hide for sure.
Do not worry. Who are these accomplishments of yours? What do they represent? A certain faction, guild?
Oh, they are sword coasters like you. They are not from these parts.
I see. Can you tell me where they went?
If I tell you where they went, you will call me a liar and call me the father of lies. You will not believe half the tales you will not believe what I have seen with my own eyes.
Believe me, my good sir, I have seen some weird shenanigans through my life as well. Have you ever seen a succubus?
I have seen a scorpion, he says.
Well, there you
I
go.
knowledge Arcana that to see if Eliza knows.
Go ahead. Well, they just disappeared into the dirt, he says,
probably
pointing at a sinkhole.
Ah,
I got an 11. I probably don't.
all right.
with their giant land shark.
I see. Well, thank you so much for this information. And like,
Do you care? I am bored waiting for them to return. They told me to wait 5, 6, 7 days, and if they have not returned in 7, they told me yesterday to wait 7 days for them to return, and if they were not back in 7, I could the horse and the cart would be mine. I thought I don't know. They pay me well, but I do not know which I wish for, whether I wish for them to return or not. But I am an honest man, and I will wait the 7 days as I am contracted.
I see. Well then, how many days have you been waiting? Then tell me.
Just 1 day now.
I see. And I guess these are their horses?
You are a very beautiful woman, he says to you. Do you have a husband?
My husband is my god, the mighty god of thunder.
I cannot bid against a god. I have 6 or 7 goats, but I guess your god has more.
Indeed, his righteousness is manifold. But I guess you are looking after these horses for these men. And I guess yes.
That is, well, you call them men. They are not men. They are rock folk, and rock folk, a woman, and a cursed giant.
A woman, huh? That definitely interests me. Go ahead, Bale.
Bale will reach into his pouch and pull out 5 silver pieces and place the 5 silver pieces into the hand of this gentleman and say, since you're such an honorable man, here's some recompense, so that if anybody asks if you've seen us or seen anybody new like us come in, just say that you haven't.
Your coin seals my lips to the price of 5 silver, he says.
And Bale will nod in agreement.
Share some goat with me.
I say to him, I actually got some.
He says, pulling
No,
an eye and offering you a goat. Goat eye?
I say,
the juiciest part for the most beautiful lady, he says.
Thank you. I actually got some gold on me, believe it or not. I actually got some platinum pieces on me too. I shall.
Do you tell him this?
Say no. I sort of like say to him, tell me, how much did these travelers pay you for this days of work?
It was a generous sum. They are paying me 1 gold a day.
One,
because it is dangerous coming into the cursed part of the desert.
How's about this? You go back to your maybe your wife's, and back to your children. Take these horses.
I have a warm yurt and plenty of furs. If you feel cold, you are welcome to join me in it, lady, he says with a smile.
No, that's fine. But I sort of pull out one platinum piece and I say, "Now, let's talk business, yes?"
Another. Oh, I, I, I was alone in the desert with only myself for company, and now people appear showing me coins. I am enjoying today. It is looking
Yeah.
up.
It seems that the coin speaks your language. It seems. Now, my sort of merchant desert friend or desert flower. Uh,
Oh, you are the rarest bloom in the desert.
indeed, indeed. Now, I want you
I
to
see
work.
you are softening to my words, he says, flashing another smile.
Indeed. Now, I want you to work for us instead. I want you
I
to.
am an honorable man, he says.
Oh,
I cannot
sure.
be bought cheaply, he says.
Oh, sure. Well, surely this platinum piece has brought glimmer to your eyes.
There is glimmer all over his eyes, but he denies it vehemently, whilst almost drooling at the platinum. I cannot be bought. I cannot be bought for such little amounts, he says.
Well, very well then. If you cannot be bought with such,
I am. Look at the charge. Look at my charge, he says, pointing to the wagon and the horse.
We're not looking to buy you. We're just looking to rent you.
yes.
But
Come on now. Surely a man of your statures would like this. Well, this platinum silver piece. I can see it in your eyes and see that you are drooling over such a fine coin. Maybe.
the Bedin do not drool. It is only the soft city folk who drool. But but the platinum that you offer me does have a certain shine like the stars.
I see. Well, I tell you what. Sign your loyalty to me and our crew, and there'll be more of this platinum for you.
Eliza is going to walk up to the guy and like pull on his shirt to get his attention.
He looks. His focus is totally on the platinum, but he does glance down.
Yeah, and persuasion. I'm giving him the biggest puppy dog eyes. Like, will you help us?
Oh, she is
our feet are sore.
Oh, you're a sweet child. Your daughter?
No, she is a friend, a colleague that we found on our journeys. She is very, very charming little girl, and she is very good at doing what she does. Maybe, and I come over to him and I push my place my chest plate into his body.
What I was basically going to be doing would basically be like childhood innocence,
yep,
and like honesty. Just like, we need help and we're tired, because we just basically say like, our feet are sore and we need a wagon. Can you help? Pretty much is what she's doing.
Oh, you are tired, he says. He picks you up and places you on the seat of the wagon, and passes you some water. Washes your feet and hands you some alcoholic yak's milk to drink. Refresh yourself, he says, and be my guest. Oh, such a sweet little girl.
Alcoholic yak's milk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can I smell the alcohol?
Oh, yes.
Mom said I'm not allowed to have this.
Oh. Here, water it down, he says, handing you some water, a water skin as well.
Eliza will just have the water skin. She's not gonna have any of the milk.
So, the wagon is worth 7 platinum, and the horse would be worth. And my horse is a fine horse. Look at the teeth on this horse. A young, fine, strong beast worth 15 platinum.
Claire laughs and says, Now, you are being very stingy, my little man. And I do not like being stinged. She pulls out her long sword and like grabs him by the scruff of his shirt. And robber! Take all my. He falls at your knees and says, take all my belongings. I do not wish, but leave me alive. He says, throwing his pouch at you. Good. Now, like I said, go back to your sweet village, back to your wife and children, and treat them good to a good, honest meal. And I give him the platinum piece in his hand, and
no, he when you say go, he just snatches his water skin and starts running off into the desert.
Eliza had barely gotten a drink in, and then she's just like, and then she looks at Claire. You're very mean.
Yep, you've just robbed him. Well done.
You're very mean, Mrs. Paladin.
Well, you know how those pompous religious types are. You know that makes Lathander prouder of her.
I mean, it's technically robbery, but you can always put it down as a donation to your temple.
I'll put it down as I pick it up and put it in the donations for the temple.
Yes,
because that's what I'll do.
Yeah. I mean, clerics can always rewrite these things.
You've reasoned this out, but
it is
I've
robbery.
played paladins, and I have lost powers for way less.
Yes. You have just robbed an innocent man.
I mean, I didn't rob him. I was just like being.
Yes,
you robbed him, dude.
Yes, you did.
You drew your sword and you
robbed him
on a man and started threatening him, and he lost his nerve and ran off. You've robbed him,
throwing his goods at you.
Yeah.
Instead of doing the rational, the actually smart thing, instead of drawing your sword, instead of going like, all right, I roll insight, like how correct are his numbers?
I'm on the path of vengeance. I can't help it.
Fair, but at the same time, you weren't always on that path of vengeance. You haven't lost your powers, but if I was DM, you would have lost your powers.
I myself, I find it as a good time for Bale because it gives him more material to put jabs in at Lathander and their followers.
Eliza looks at Bale like, is she always so mean?
Yes. Who else would take up company with the likes of you and a hag?
Eliza's depressed now.
and Gundreda says, and don't leave yourself out of the this group. There aren't that many wanting to join you and walk around with you either, Bale.
I like it that way. I'm my best company.
So
forgive me there, little one, looking at Gundreda and say, I didn't mean to call you hag. I meant to call you demon child.
She spits on the ground. Maybe this new hag that is haunting. I like the sounds of this new hag's powers. I hope I'm going to become, if I've got to become a hag, I hope I'm going to become one like that one. She says,
"Yes, dead."
That would give me more pleasure in killing you. He says.
So you are also bloodthirsty.
No, Bale's not bloodthirsty.
We are. Yes, we are.
I say all because
I put an objection in. Diggory isn't.
That is fair. Diggory isn't. That's why Eliza likes Diggory, because Diggory seems sane. and nice all the time.
Huh?
Like, it's, Eliza's nice that you. For a second, I thought you were apologizing to Eliza, so I was like, oh, Eliza's going to be happy that you at least apologized for being rude for some reason. But then you were like, oh, talking to the other person.
So, having scared and sort of technically robbed this this stevedore, who's run off into the desert on his own. What would you like to do next?
Well,
There are the
let's search the camp.
Okay. There's the back of the wagon has food for 2 horses for about 2 weeks travel, and enough food for 5 people for 2 weeks. Food and water for 2 weeks travel. It has has typical things like a spade and a pickaxe and things like that attached to it, but a fair number of chests and things like that in the back, but the chests are all empty at the moment.
Just so you guys know, my character is true neutral and is highly impressionable. She's seeing all the adults be really, really rude and bloodthirsty. She's going to eventually think that that's okay.
Okay.
This is we miss Travis when he's not here.
Like all Bell would say to a statement like that is, life is hard and harsh. You have to be tested in tempered steel to survive it. Not a marshmallow.
But marshmallows taste good.
Yeah, I don't plan on being eaten. But I think we need to take this camp and move it someplace else.
And make a perception.
All of us?
Claire and Bale. Please make a
21.
Investigation. Sorry.
Oh, that's a big
I'm
difference.
going to say that I am petting the horse and stuff that's on the wagon.
In investigation, that's a 15.
I got investigation of 18.
Okay. So, yep. Whilst you're investigating the tents, you do smell the smell of some sort of. There are some turds. There's some leaving some droppings of some large animal that you haven't come across before. Smells bad and has quite a lot of rock and sand and dirt in amongst the droppings, and you also come across a scent in one of the tents that, if you throw your mind back to Greenest and things, do you remember Cassandra?
Yes.
That the scent reminds you of Cassandra. The perfume she it might not be Cassandra, but it's a sort of similar perfume, or possibly the same.
Bale will be thinking, we have a score to settle with that evil.
Indeed. I draw my longsword and ready my shield and say, she will pay for what she has done.
I say we pack up this camp and move it to up by the mouth of the cave, so when they come back,
the mouth of the cave is sort of 60 feet above the ground, up a cliff, and you're not far from it here, from the base of the cliff. You could take it somewhere else, or
basically want to take it someplace else where there's hard rock, where this story that was told us of a sand shark wouldn't be able to come up and through and get to it easily.
Okay. Okay, so you move it takes some time to pack up the tents and move them away. Find a secure little obscure site for setting up a tent. The tent somewhere else. It's beginning to get cold. There's cold winds blowing in from the northwest. Little bits of snow blowing around, but it's not snowing. There's very little sort of precipitation around here, but there's little sort of icicles in the air from they don't evaporate, and there's little bits of mist from the morning that turns into frost from the morning, blows round all day as ice. It's pretty close to zero round here. When you finish setting up the camp, it's getting towards night time, and you've been traveling you've been traveling on rock back for most of the day. Would you like to rest now, or would you like to head into the cave, the tomb?
Eliza is going to outright say, "I don't like sleeping anymore. Can we just go inside?"
Yes. Is everyone ready?
Well, a good rest would help us.
Sure, no problem.
To be fresh as a daisy.
All right.
I assume this is a short rest.
Yes, we shall have a short rest.
Okay, you have a short rest. The short rest and the sun goes down. The sun goes down. The temperature drops to very cold, and the wind picks up a bit. It's very cold, but in the tents, you're all right.
Cool.
What would you like to do now? It's dark. You can continue to the end of your rest, or you can try going to the. You know pretty much where the entrance to the tomb is, and you could find it even in the dark. Though, if you're planning to climb the cliff in the dark, that would be quite a challenge.
This isn't normally what the spell is used for. But can I sling a firebolt, which is a cantrip that I have? Because you said that the cliff face, or like the face, is like shrouded in like pretty much total darkness. Can I, for 120 feet, because that is the range, can I just kind of shoot a bolt upward and light up a section, like light, because it'll have radiant light, you know?
I'm going to say, because there's light spell as something else, it will light up sort of 5 feet round it, and you can sort of aim it at.
That is kind of enough, because we'll get a little.
Okay.
We'll probably be able to see, like, we'll see handholds pretty much up the direction, and that's more or less just what I want.
Just to plan your route. Is that what you're doing?
To assist with planning the route.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Bale, you with your night vision, you can see well enough to.
My vision sees to 60 feet, but I would still assist you after that range.
Yep. So you plan a route. You see, make an investigation roll, Bale.
9.
9. Okay, you see with a 9, you see a DC 16 sort of route, athletics check route up to the entrance to the cave. Would you like to try that? Who's going first? I mean, would somebody like to climb and attach the? Actually, forget it. It's you've got Diggory. Diggory's got a rope of climbing. You get up there. He
I forgot
he can just sort of. Yeah, he's got a rope of climbing. Diggory, somehow or other, it's cold, and the cold is biting at you as you climb up the cliff, and you get to the entrance of the cave. You go through the. You go through and enter, and there's this musty smell, and a stone door in front of you with here lies the tomb of Martek. Actually, in ancient runes, there is writing on the wall, on the door, on the stone door, and there is a keyhole in there.
Eliza is going to
look
at everyone and say that she can just understand these if you give her 10 minutes.
What's the language? Is it well, let me put it this way. Bale understands abyssal, infernal, common, undercommon, draconic, and elvish.
It looks like some ancient form of common, which is which you can't read anymore, but it looks like it's a ancient human language.
Okay. Dang, man, how'd you get so many languages?
Because I'm a ranger.
Fair enough.
And because my background.
Actually, one of them is in what's the one that isn't abyssal? Infernal.
Infernal.
Did you mention infernal?
I have infernal.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep. The one. Okay. One of the messages is infernal, and it says, "Here lies the tomb of Martek. Cursed be all grave robbers to the end of time. Turn back now, or your doom is assured."
And Bale will say, "This place, it says it's cursed to those that believe in Lathander, and that his power is so weak here that you couldn't remove the curse upon this, and don't be grave robbing from Mardak."
I see. Well then, we shall hold these things, and we shall not rob from the dead. If the dead rises, then it will be dealt with my holy wrath, and I shall show the undead the Lathander's true might, and hopefully it will be put to rest.
So Bale will interject when you're saying we won't rob from the dead. He'll turn and say, "Oh, it's okay to rob from the living, though, right?" For Lathander.
If it's been 10 minutes, I will have used comprehend languages as a ritual.
Okay.
What do the rest of the runes say?
The same message is repeated in various forgotten languages.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm like, yeah, you guys see, like, after a little while of you guys just talking and stuff, like Eliza, you see her eyes like have started glowing and things, and she like scans over the words.
Oh,
yeah.
And one of the languages is primordial as well. I don't know if I mentioned that, but
Neat. But
okay.
Yeah, Eliza basically says like, yeah, Bale's right. There's nothing, like, everything, it's the same thing. But that effect will happen when I read, listen, and I can speak any language that exists for an hour.
Okay.
So, just for the hell of it, I said that in like Celestial or something. Just.
Oh, I don't think you can speak it. That's tongues, but you can understand it when it's spoken.
Is that might be the
Tongues
case.
is a 3rd level spell that allows you to speak it, but you can understand it. But
Yeah, I understand, but I can't speak.
Yep. Okay. So, I don't remember who had the key, but you take it out, turn it in the door, and there's a and this stone doors slowly kind of, there's a almost a sucking sound as they swing slowly, and the darkness behind, the musty smell comes out of the darkness behind, and your eyes gradually grow accustomed to it, and you see a corridor cut through the stone with old carvings on runes on the left and right, a few more messages leading up to a room with decorated fading pillars up ahead. But I'm going to leave. I'm afraid I'm going to have to leave the session pretty much now, and we'll take up the exploration of the Tomb of Martek next time.
Nice.
One quick question.
Yep.
On the floor leading up to that room, is it clean or dusty? And if it's dusty, are there footprints in it?
There's as the doors swung open, the dust sort of blew up a little bit, but still most of the dust was left. Was left as a layer undisturbed.
Okay.
I know. As the door opens, all right, Claire will hold up her holy symbol and cast Find Traps, 120 feet range. I can
we'll do all the exploration of the tomb next time.
We're done for the day.
Yes.
Yep. All right.
Nice
all good, and thank you there for the game, Caius.
You're very welcome.
Indeed, excellent game as always.
And tomorrow, next time will be a bit of a we haven't had this for, I don't think we've ever had this, but a dungeon crawl. Okay?
Yay.
Yes.
I'm a member of dungeon crawl. Let's do this. I hope I'm useful. I can understand I can understand any words that's written as far as riddles go. So I hope I'll be actually useful when it comes to that.
And and actually, because it's a dungeon crawl, we'll do it on Roll20 next time, and with the old style dungeon crawl maps, and we'll use the whole map thing for the dungeon. I don't usually do it, but it seems to sort of fit for a dungeon. Okay.
Fair enough.
Nice.
All right.
Nice. Awesome.
Okay. So see you. How's next Saturday for you guys?
I am busy next Saturday.
Oh, let me check. You're busy next Saturday.
I'm free.
Next Sunday I can't do.
I can't play next Saturday for the other game because I'll still be busy, but I have games on Sundays.
Yep. Okay. How's Friday? For everyone?
Friday can work. I'm free Fridays.
Let me just David, are you an England fan?
Yes.
Do you know when if we get past the next round against Colombia, do you know when England's match is after that? Because I don't want to clash with an England match if I can avoid it.
I honestly don't know.
Let me have a look. Let me see if I can just find that. But how are you for Friday?
We'll look it up and we'll say whatever the next event is.
Yeah. How are the? It's not good for Travis usually, is it? 4th of July is, what day is that?
4th of July is a Thursday.
Thursday.
No, it's a Wednesday.
Is it a Wednesday? Okay.
It's a Wednesday. So, and the holiday is the 4th of July. You don't have holidays after it, do you? Sort of on the 5th or 6th?
No, usually depending upon the celebrants, it may end up being a
I could
hangover
actually
day
play
for
next
some.
Thursday. Or I could actually play on the 5th.
On the 5th.
Yeah.
I'm actually
That's not
free.
until late.
I'm
That's
pretty
not until
free
late.
next week. So, but I do have no. I think I'm all right on the 5th. David, have you got any free time on the 5th? Because you're probably the hardest. Well, I don't know. Travis or you will be hard to fit on the 5th.
No, I should be fine.
All right. Yeah,
Um,
I'll have an appointment, but I think we'll be done well before 3. So
what time is your appointment on the 5th?
my appointment on the 5th is at 3:15. So I'll be fine.
Well, because do you need to have an evening game?
No, I'm saying 3:15.
No, I mean to David.
Oh.
No, it should be fine. No. 3:15? No.
Well, 3:15 would be. What time? What time in the evening are you available from for a game, David? In
Myself.
British time.
British time, anything after 5 o'clock.
After 5 o'clock. Oh, so that's around midday. That would give us about 3 hours. That's about mid. I think there's 5 hours difference between UK and Eastern time. Which
I don't have a car, so I have to walk to that appointment, and it's at least 40 minutes away if I walk.
And are you Eastern
So
time?
I can play next session, but I'll have to leave early.
Okay, we'll run it on Thursday if we can, and take it from there. Yep.
Yeah, I can play next Thursday if we have I guess a noon game for me.
That might be difficult for Travis, but we'll see.
Yeah, but I will. I'll play it by ear.
Yep.
I'll be leaving at 2:30 my time. So
I haven't been consulting you, Charlie. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine, really, for any of those days except the 4th and the 3rd. So
yeah, I guess you'd be. I mean, you'd be busy on the 4th. So I'll get in touch with Travis as well, see if he can join us and try and coordinate something. But
sounds good.
Thursday might well be the day.
All right.
Okay.
See you then.
See you.
See you all later.
And thanks for playing all.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.